Good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Kassar. I work with MPP Saunderson and Stainer in our offices in Alliston, and I welcome everybody to this morning's or this afternoon's ceremony, as well as everybody watching on the live stream at home. As everyone knows, this is a huge day for the riding, and Brian is a persistent and powerful voice for Simcoe-Grey and in his work at Queen's Park. So today's another great example of that work. But before we get started, I'd like to call upon Mayor Andrea Matrosov to do the land acknowledgement. Madam Mayor.
The town of Blue Mountains recognizes the First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples of Canada as traditional stewards of the land. This municipality is located within the boundary of Treaty 18, region of 1818, which is the traditional land of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat-Wyandot peoples.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to call upon MPP Brian Saunderson.
Thank you, Steve, and good afternoon, everyone. This is a very exciting day, as Steve indicated, and for me, it's a home game. It's not often that we get out and get together in the community to make announcements as critical as this. And we know that for this government and for the province, over the last 5 to 6 years, a housing crisis has been evolving. And we have a very aggressive target of 1.5 billion homes by 2030, much needed homes. We know from the CMHC that by 2030, if we continue at about 200,000 housing starts, which we've been at in Canada for the last 2-3 years, with 100,000 of those in Ontario, we'll be 3.5 million units underhoused across the country by 2030. So we need action, and we need action now. And that's why this government, in the fall economic statement of last year, announced a housing infrastructure initiative of $200 million. In our budget of this year, we increased that to $825 million, and we are putting an additional $250 million in there. So when the dust settles in the next 3 years, we'll put $1.2 billion into infrastructure so that we can enable growing communities like the town of Blue Mountains as they move forward to grow in a responsible, sustainable, and planned way. And so today, it's my great pleasure to announce that the town of Blue Mountains is receiving $25.4 million for their wastewater infrastructure project. These much-needed funds will be used to unlock over 200,000 housing starts in this area, which is a considerable number for a community this size. And I want to congratulate Mayor Matrosov and CAO Everett for their hard work. This was an extremely competitive process. As I said, we had $825 million. We've actually exceeded that. We've gone over $900 million and was oversubscribed. We received over $5 billion in asks. So this is a very competitive process, and it really speaks to the capacity and the capability of your staff and council, as well as to the business case for this community that you're receiving these much needed funds. So I look forward to working with your staff as you move forward to get shovels in the ground on this critical project, and so that we can grow. And this is part of our province's commitment to working with our municipalities in a true partnership to make sure that we can provide our residents with the living accommodations and social services that they need to make sure that we grow forward in a planned way. So thank you very much, everyone, and I look forward to taking questions.
Thanks, Brian. I'd now like to call another Brian, Warden Brian Milne of Grey County, to say a few words. Brian.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to MPP Saunderson for inviting me to join you today. On behalf of Grey County Council, we're grateful to be part of this announcement and to celebrate this investment in critically needed infrastructure that will help our communities grow. Grey County has seen tremendous growth over the last decade or more. Word has spread that Grey County is a place of opportunity, and we're attracting people of all demographics to live, work, and enjoy retirement here. We've seen growth in all Grey County municipalities, but in the town of the Blue, it has been exceptionally rapid. As Mayor Matrosov, I'm sure, will let you know, and anybody that wants to listen, this is one of the fastest growing municipalities in the province, if not indeed the country. While this growth is welcome, it does create certain challenges for smaller rural municipalities. Clearly, municipal water and wastewater infrastructure is critical to keeping our communities growing, but rising costs for new services are a challenge for municipal ratepayers to afford. At a time when demand is high, we face a housing crisis. We can't afford to slow down or lose our momentum. I want to thank MPP Saunderson and the province for acknowledging the importance of today's $25 million through the Housing Enabling Water Systems Fund. This funding is much needed and will help the town make necessary upgrades to continue growing and creating more homes. Now, I should note that I understand that this particular announcement is part of 54 projects across 60 municipalities. So, I guess my cowboy math would tell me that we have somewhat less than 400 municipalities to go. So, shouldn't take us too long to get there, right? Very good. So, thank you again for the opportunity to speak today. Let's get to work. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech.
Thank you, Warden. And now I'd like to call Mayor Mastroff to the podium again. Madam Mayor.
Thank you, and welcome, bonjour, bienvenue. On behalf of the town of Blue Mountains, we are truly grateful for the significant funding provided by the Ontario government as shared by MPP Saunderson. The Ontario government's commitment to our community is evident through this significant $25 million plus grant that we are receiving from the Housing Enabling Water Systems Fund. This crucial funding will allow us to make significant investments in our water and our wastewater infrastructure, ensuring that we meet the needs of our growing community. In the Blue Mountains, where community values and stewardship are paramount, it often feels like we're being pulled in many different directions. Our integrated community sustainability plan calls us to create a future that is economically, environmentally, and socially sustainable. Balancing our budget while addressing all the community priorities is never easy. However, today, thanks to this significant investment, we are taking a positive step forward in supporting the future of our infrastructure. By focusing on these urgent upgrades, we are not only addressing the immediate infrastructure needs, we are laying the foundation for future generations to live, to work, to raise a family, and enjoy the community that we all love. We understand that change is not easy. It requires careful consideration, planning, and the cooperation of everyone involved. This project encompasses critically important infrastructure upgrades for the betterment of the entire town of the Blue Mountains and represents a comprehensive approach to meeting our future needs. The infrastructure work that will be completed through this grant includes upgrades to the Mill Street Sewage Lift Station, upgrades to the Craigleith Sewage Lift Station, and the installation of a sanitary sewer force main between Mill Street and the Thornbury Wastewater Treatment Plant. I would like to extend my congratulations to our town staff on their excellent and successful grant application. It's been many hours, days, months of hard work and technical expertise. Through your hard work, our project stood out among many, as we've heard, highlighting its critical need and the positive impact and the importance for our municipality. As we embark on this project, we are not just laying pipes and building structures. We are strengthening a community, ensuring that the town of Blue Mountains remains a place where everyone can live and thrive through all stages and ages of life. This investment is more about just infrastructure. It's about supporting our residents for future generations. In closing, I would like to thank MPP Brian Saunderson and express my gratitude to the Ontario government for their investment and commitment to supporting our town of the Blue Mountains. Thank you. Miigwech. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And that concludes our brief remarks. All three elected officials will be available for interviews. I think up here, using this as a backdrop would probably be best. Thank you all for attending and for watching at home.